I have run out of facts to give. So, how did I go from not posting for 2 months to this? Good question. There's a lot of stuff happening up in my noggin. I just woke up and decided to be chaotic. So I just put this together and decided to do the Carnaval Book Tag. If you don't know what the Carnaval Book Tag is, it's a tag that was created by Lo from Lo Reading Things. And she tagged me because apparently she wanted to hear an Argentinian say nice things about Brazil. Now here's the thing. Latin America is like a bunch of siblings all fighting with each other, but they all like love each other, or at least nobody can diss on them except them. So my point of view growing up was that the rest of Latin America hated Argentina and Argentina hated Chile. Apparently we also have beef with Brazil, so that's honestly not surprising to me. But honestly, Brazil is beautiful. I love the food. I love feijoada. The beaches are beautiful. The people are beautiful. The drivers in Rio de Janeiro drive like fucking madmen. How are you guys still alive? The point here is that the Carnival Book Tag was created because, due to the Panini, Brazil wasn't able to have Carnival, and neither were other parts that also have Carnival, like the north of Argentina or Gualeguaychú. Those also have carnivals, and they are fucking wild, and they are amazing. So instead I'm just going to answer the questions and drink some wine and just look at myself in the camera and see how ridiculous I look. But as I said, I really don't give a shit at this point. Question number 1 is katuava, which I'm guessing is alcohol. A book you knew you were going to regret reading, but you did it anyways. My answer for this is 120 Days of Sodom by the Marquise de Sade. I read this like 2 years ago, back when I was on my Bookstagram days. I was on this like game competition and we were separated by teams, and one team had challenged us to read 120 Days of Sodom. I didn't know what it really was about. I knew it was like the founding father of BDSM, so I braced myself. What I didn't know is that it was essentially a book about pedophilia. And I'm gonna have to censor that. The only way I got through that book was by a buddy read with all of my teammates. We literally had to read one chapter each, and we would write a summary so that we didn't have to read the whole book. And it wasn't even the whole book, it was like a reduced version. It was pretty much the only book that I despise with my soul. Like, I hate that book. I'm sure someone with more brain cells than me could make like a philosophical analysis on the corruptions and depravities of human beings and the sexual repressions or whatever, but no, it was too much. The second question is glitter, that I'm gonna have all over my house. A book that has stuck with you. And you're fucking stupid. Yeah. For this I really tried to think of an original answer because I essentially ran out of answers for this type of questions in my Books That Changed My Life video. But I decided to choose The Happy Prince by Oscar Wilde. It's a short story about this prince that was very happy when he was alive, and when he died they built a statue of him that they put on like a mountain overlooking the entire city, and the statue was like covered in gold and with precious stones and everything. And one day this bird flies and takes cover in the statue, and the statue comes to life and things happen. Like, it's a short story, so I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, but it was just so beautiful that I read it a long time ago. I reread it a lot of times. It's just so beautiful and warm and cozy, and it's probably the only story that I know from like beginning to end. Question number 3 is Marchinha de Carnaval. Hopefully that came out better than it sounded in my head. An oldie but a goodie. For that I am going to go with, and I'm not going to apologize, Catching Fire by Susan Collins. Look, I know back in 2013 everyone and their mother was reading these books, but honestly, of all the books that came out in that era, and I'm talking about like Shadowhunters, Divergent, etc., this is the one that holds up the best. Like, the Hunger Games were onto something. Like, I can reread them today and I'm like, yeah, this is a really solid book. Honestly, The Hunger Games, and particularly Catching Fire, are the only early 2010s books that have rights. Question number 4 is Podrao, which Lo told me is a hangover food. A book that will always pick you up when you're feeling bad. I think I have a bunch of those. My first option would have probably been Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but I'm trying to think of other options other than Harry Potter, so I'm going to go with Percy Jackson. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a 20-year-old that refound her passion for a middle grade series that she read when she was 12 years old. And why am I talking about myself in third person? Okay. Yeah, Percy Jackson just can do no wrong. It was written in 2005 and honestly it holds up pretty well. And honestly, I'm just trying to avoid thinking about the fact that I keep getting older and I still ship a bunch of 16-year-olds. Question number 5 is bloquinho. I'm going to start saying these Portuguese words with full confidence because I know my pronunciation is shit. A book that you read because all of your friends were reading it too. Well, my friends don't particularly read. I'm the one that reads. So I went with everyone on BookTube was reading it, and I feel like this is the quintessential. Quintessential. Oh my god. I'm not drunk. I swear I'm not. Ooh. I feel like this is the quintessential answer for everyone that's been on BookTube for a little while, and that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Peer pressure and everything made me read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I loved it. It was amazing. The hype is worth it. Moving on. Question number 6 is Escola do Samba, a book that is very tacky but you love it anyways. My answer for this question is The Selection by Kira Cass. I am going to embarrass myself by saying that this is my most reread book of all time. I have reread this book like 4 times, this entire series like 4 times, and I am not sorry because it is incredibly short, it is incredibly fast-paced, it is trashy, it is romantic, it is entertaining, and I love imagining the pretty books, and I love the covers. So yeah, this book, I will never stop loving it, and I will never unhold it because it just makes me happy. Question number 7 is vodafesha, which I'm guessing is an invitation to have a one-night stand, which I'm guessing happens a lot. How many babies are conceived during Carnival? My pick for this question is really just a testament that I don't read cute romances, and I should probably read some more, and that is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now, Marissa Meyer is not necessarily an author that I quite like, and this book was definitely very disappointing, but I do remember that I really loved the love interest in this book, Chess. I adored him. Like, from the first page, I was just like, I don't know what it is about you, but I love you. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but I'm just going to say that it was disappointing, and I'm still bitter, and I'm still holding on to that character. Question number 8 is Bañero Público, a book that was almost a Herculean task to get through. Remember earlier when I said that 120 Days of Sodom was probably the only book that I ever hated? I was wrong. This book I absolutely loathe with my soul. And that is All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiff Butter. This probably wasn't the best book to introduce myself into Maggie Stiff Butter because now I just don't want to read anything of hers. It took me first 1 month, then I left it, and then it took me other 2 months to read a 260 pages book. All the Crooked Saints is the most pretentious, fake deep, wannabe classic book I've ever read. It is atrocious. I hate it with my soul. I never hate a book, but this one is just, it's just so bad. It's so bad. It wants to be good so bad. It wants to be metaphorical so badly. And it wants to be like deep and quirky and have all of these details that are like those classics, and no, it's just bad. It's bad. I hate it. I knew eventually I was going to talk about this book on my channel, and I'm kind of glad that I am talking about it while this, because clearly this is not serious. And if you love this book, you love this book, and if you love Maggie Stiff Butter, you love her. That's great. That's amazing. I hated that book with my entire soul. And the final question is Quarta-feira de Cinzas, a book that absolutely ruined you. For this, I was thinking like, what would ruin mean? Like, did it make me cry a lot? Because there are a bunch of books like that, like the typical Clockwork Princess or whatever. Or the book that just like traumatized me, which there aren't a lot. But I guess a good balance between the two of them would be A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is also a very short book. I believe this is what All the Crooked Saints wanted to be. It's just this type of genre that I don't know if it's like, it's not literary fiction, but it's this magical realism of a kid gets like this otherworldly figure to help them with life. Yes, there are more than one books like this. And this book deals with this kid whose mother has been diagnosed with cancer, and so it's his exploration of how he deals with that and his grief and everything. And this book wrecked me. I read it in 2 hours. It destroyed me and I cried like a little bitch. That was all of my questions for this book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you watched the video to the end, then here is some bonus clips of me making this thing that I probably shouldn't put on the internet, but here it is regardless. I am already regretting that. And fun fact, my dog got it. My dog chewed on this thing, so this really couldn't get any worse if I tried. But if you like this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and comment down below if you want to, and subscribe. I can't promise that I'm going to from now on consistently upload. I'm just doing this whenever I feel like it, and right now that isn't very frequent. So if you want to subscribe anyways, then turn on the notification bell so you know when I actually upload. And if you have stuck so far, then thank you so much. And I love all of you. And I hope you're satisfied with whatever the fuck this is. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!